I guess I'm streaming. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Raquel Teaches. My name is Raquel, and in today's lesson, I'm going to be teaching you how to create a bulleted list using HTML. All right. So that's what today's lesson is all about, creating a bulleted list. All right. So let's get right into it. So, first thing I want you to know that as usual, I am basing this lesson, loosely basing it on lessons that are available at W3 Schools, which I think is one of the great free tools out there available for learning web development on your own when you don't have time to watch videos like these. So I'm going to be showing you how to create a bullet list, and I've also provided a link to this W3 Schools lesson in the description of this video in case you want to read some more of the finer details about the different things you can do with bulleted lists. But I'm going to show you the basics on how to do it and an example of how it can be used on a page. All right. So first, let's switch over to our code editor. All righty, that worked. uh, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the setup is for the bulleted list. So I'm going to click in here in the code editor. I'm just going to go to a new line here within the body tag. So a bulleted list is really composed of two different HTML tags that bring the bulleted list together and give it its format, right? Its shape, its textual meaning, right? So you have to first indicate what kind of bulleted list you're going to be creating, and then you have to use another tag to indicate each item of the bulleted list. And so when it comes to bulleted lists, there are two types. There are what's called unordered list and ordered list. So first I'm going to show you the basic type, which is the unordered list, which is used to create a bulleted list that I'm talking about in this lesson. So the HTML tag to create an unordered list is UL. So you're just going to start, with your, sorry about that, you're going to start with your opening tags and you are going to just type UL, right? And like what I like to say always is when you have an opening tag, also put your closing tag so you don't forget to do it. So I'm going to also go ahead and put my closing tag there and just move it to the next line. And so now the unordered list tag is added. So now if I want to actually start putting bulleted items that are listed in there, I'm going to start using the LI tag to do that. And so I'm just going to create a simple list here, just some words so you can all see what it looks like, right? So I can do something like, the way you do it is you put the opening bracket and you put LI. And again, LI also has a closing tag, so make sure you put that. Now, when it comes to the list items, though, I do like to keep the opening and closing tags on the same line. I find that it makes it easier to read the code overall. All right. But when you have things that are, I would say, larger in size, meaning larger and holding whole sets of information, I would separate them. So the UL tag, you see the opening and closing are on different lines, whereas the line item tags are opening, closing are on the same line. So I'm going to put here something like flower, right? I'm going to put water, eggs, right? And I'm putting the ingredients of what I think are raisin bread. I don't know. I'm probably wrong because I always just buy the box sometimes. I'm guilty of that. And I'm going to put let me see, flour, water, eggs, sugar, cinnamon. Oh, and raisins. Raisins, right? All right, and I'm going to save that. So this is the setup for an unordered list, right? I have the UL tag, the opening UL tag, some LI and tags, opening and closing, and each of those tags within them have the item that I want to be displayed as a bulleted item on that list. So I'm going to save those changes using my keyword. And now I'm going to go to the browser and we're going to see what that looks like, right? So when we switch to the browser, let me click on the correct tab here. I opened this page already before I made the changes to the HTML file in the code editor, right? So as we can see from before, the code editor just shows that I did insert an image there, and that's the image that we can see now on the web browser. So now when I switch that web browser, now that I've made those changes to the HTML file, I need to refresh that web browser page so it can reflect the changes I just saved to the HTML file. And what we should see underneath the image is that bulleted list I just created. So let's go ahead and refresh that and see what that looks like. I'm going to hit the refresh button. And sure enough, underneath the image, we see a bulleted list here. Right? And so that's how easy it is to add a bulleted list. I'm going to have another lesson where I show you how to create another type of list called an ordered list that actually will number the items versus just putting a bullet in them. All right. And when we get into CSS, I'm going to show you different things that we can do with the actual bullets themselves, how we can format them and do other things. But for right now, for the very basics of creating a bulleted list, that's all there is to it. You need to just use the UL tag and you need to use the LI tag in combination with that to do it. So one of the things I would like you to do for practice, right, is you can do something like creating a simple page for listing ingredients for a recipe, right? You should be able to do that with the lessons that I've provided so far. So what I mean is you can go ahead and adapt this page and add a paragraph to it, right, that says that this is the list of ingredients, right? And so in my example, I would just go in here and create a new line underneath the code where I inserted the image source, and I can do something like inserting a paragraph and do something like, here's what you'll need to make this delicious raisin bread. I spelled delicious wrong. Right, and I'll put my closing paragraph tag, and I can save those changes. And now, when I go back to my browser and I refresh the browser, what we should see is below the image, but above that bulleted list, we should see that paragraph saying what it is that the person is about to read, right? So if I go ahead and refresh the browser, let's see if that happens. And voila, it does, right? So far, with the basic skills you've learned from this playlist so far, you're able to create an HTML page, add an image, add a paragraph, and add a bullet list. And you can start to see how the content of the web page is starting to take shape, okay? So that is today's lesson, right? So it's very simple. I want you to go ahead, make sure you write your notes down and go ahead and start practicing how to create a bulleted list on a web page. Because the next lesson is going to be on ordered lists, and we're going to learn a few more things in HTML, and then we're going to start getting into making it look beautiful with CSS. Thanks again for checking in. I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you did, please make sure to click the like button, right? And if you'd like to be notified of any future live streams from this channel, please subscribe to it. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. And thanks again for checking in. Have a great day and God bless.